Hey, folks, what's going on with you? Papa Joe here. Well, this is, what is this?
You have 8 hours and 0 minutes of remaining drive time.
I got plenty of time, drive, except I'm parked. January 5th, 2020. 2020. Wow. You know, I'm 60 years old. Didn't really ever expect to make it this old, to be honest with you. Never dreamed about 2020. I do remember a song, Party Like It's 1999 or something like that. Remember that song well, long before the year. As I have aged and mellowed, thank you very much, uh, I look at stuff a lot more different than I did as a youngin'. What's that old saying? When we were children, we'll do children things, and once we become adults, we put away children things. I put them away a long time ago. But it is amazing how your view of the world and what's happening changes. Now, I know that I'm very boring to a lot of the younger generations. That's a crying shame. Because one thing's for sure, youngins, if you listen to us old parts, you might learn something that you don't have to learn the hard way. Thus, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about 2020. A few things you need to be watching out for, a few things that you can change, and a few things that can change you, and they're all three connected to the same thing. And that is by the way that you vote. I know, there he goes talking about voting again. Yep, I am. Voting is a very important part in our lives. As a youngin', I didn't pay much attention to politics. I voted. I've been voting as long as I've been able to, as long as I could legally vote. Only because back when I was younger, they didn't allow illegal voting, much less go out and look for it. Today they do, in a big way. That's one of the things that makes your vote even more important. Is because I guarantee you there's others voting that shouldn't be. They even have dead people voting now. Ain't that crazy? They have some districts where they have more voters than they have people living in that district. Figure that one out. You think it's time they cleaned up their records? They should. And while we're talking about cleaning up, we have a man up there in Washington, D.C. that is trying to clean up Washington, D.C. He's trying to drain the swamp. And I can tell you now, all the swamp monsters, they're getting scared. Bad scared. Because they can't buy him. He's already got more money than anybody needs. They can't scare him because he likes a good fight. They can't lie about him and get by with it because he throws it right back at them. I'm really getting to like our president, not because he's a rich guy. I can give a damn how much money the man's got. He ain't going to share it with me, nohow. I like him because he don't take no bullshit from folks. Ooh, Papa Joe cussed. Facts are facts. What they've been throwing at him is a bunch of hogwash. They are so scared that they're doing anything they can to interfere with him. Since before he put his hand on that Bible and swore to protect you and I, they was already trying to impeach him. They was already talking about it. By the time he took his swearing in, they had already came up with that, what was it, resist and whatever it was, where they had already decided that it didn't matter what the man did, they was going to try to block it. They was going to resist and try to be a pain in the butt and not let him do anything good for the country. Really. They have wasted more of our money investigating him and trying to create lies to make him look bad, to get him kicked out, than you and I can shake a stick at. If they would take some of the money that they're wasting trying to fight against him, you could solve several problems we have in this nation. If they would take the effort and the energy that they are putting into fighting him and put it towards our good, they could solve a lot of problems. Now here all of a sudden, no it ain't all of a sudden, because it don't matter what the man does, they try to turn it around and make it look bad. It don't matter. He literally has our country recording some of the best numbers that we've ever seen in the history of our country. He ain't getting no credit for it. If anything, they're lying about it and trying to belittle him and make light of the progress that he is making in spite of them. And it's awful funny. Obama, and you look this up, you fact checkers that like to check on my stuff, do your own fact checks. Obama, back in his college paper, said that the American dream was to be like Donald Trump. That was before Donald Trump got into politics and ran for office. It is amazing how they always wanted his opinion on stuff before he got into politics. Or should I say before he ran for office? Because he's always been into politics, because he's bought his share of them, of politicians. He used to be one of their go-to guys for campaign money, which he stated when he was running for office that would scare him because he knew the other side. He knew about buying politicians, is what he said. He might not have came quite right out and said that, but that's what he said without saying it. He has now killed two of the worst terrorists in the world. This last one, Samanin or Saman, whatever. Now we have some of them saying, well, he ain't too bad. I read a meme that it said President Trump could kill the devil himself. And the other side would be saying, yeah, but the devil wasn't quite so bad. He wasn't really a bad guy, only a little bit bad. Really. He's doing good, folks. He's trying to take care of us. And if he could get some help, he'd do a lot better job. We have illegals coming in. Some of them been kicked out of the country numerous times. Some of them have been caught for doing crimes several times. And yet the liberal courts and the liberals not only keep letting them out of jail, they try hiding them right here in our own country and not let them get caught by the feds to get deported. Really? And they're only doing it because they want their vote. That's the same thing as buying a vote in my book. They try to paint people like me with a broad brush and say I'm a racist and a hater and I've got all kinds of phobias. It's hogwash. I'm a regular person, just like everybody else. Go to work every day, even though I don't want to. I have to because that's what a man does. I don't have a problem with people from other countries as long as they came here legally. One of the biggest crocs I ever heard is them saying that we shouldn't call them illegals. They're human beings. Why would you want to put a label on them like illegal? Why do you want to put labels on me? Guess what? If you sneak across the border to get into our country, by definition, you're illegal. And you don't need to be here. Period. So we have illegals, we have drugs, we have gang members, we have murderers, and everything else that just basically can walk across our southern border. Yet there's those in the power that don't want to build a fence to protect us. Wow, really? They have fences. And if you remember in 2016, they had a fence around their own political party gathering. Some of you know what I'm talking about. They have people that walk around and protect them with guns. But yet they say you and I shouldn't have a gun. They gave one of the worst countries in the world, one of the countries that probably hates America worse than any other country hates us, but they gave them billions of dollars, unmarked dollars, American dollars, flew in on secret airplanes, pallets and pallets of American dollars. Just gave it to them. They sold them uranium, the stuff that makes the big bombs. Now they give one of our worst enemies the material to make big bombs, gave them the money to build big bombs, but they don't trust you and I with a gun. You need to stop and think about that. I got a shirt that says, "Don't fear my guns. Fear a government that fears my guns." Oh, Papa Joe, but you don't need a 20-round magazine to go hunt a deer. If you do, you're not a very good hunter. Well, if you're scared of my guns, then you're not a very good politician and leader. And my guns is not for hunting. I don't hunt. The Constitution didn't say I needed a gun for hunting. The Constitution said I needed a gun in case my government went rogue. The Constitution said I needed my gun to protect me and my family from all enemies, foreign and domestic. They never said a word about hunting. They didn't even say a word about what kind of gun. You need to be concerned. Even if you're not into guns, you need to be concerned. Why does the government want to disarm us? Now, you keep hearing some of them talking all this socialist nonsense. Really? Socialist stuff, huh? Well, we should be more like, who is it, Sweden, I think they keep calling out old Bernie. Can you feel the burn? No? Well, actually, yeah, because he burns my ass just to hear the old fart talk. Well, did you know that Sweden keeps trying to tell him, quit using us as an example? We're not a socialist country. A socialist country, you're not allowed to own private property. In Sweden, they own property, the people. In a socialist country, only the government owns businesses. Nope, not in Sweden. Companies own companies. Now, they have public health and all this other stuff. That don't make them socialist. And if you would check their tax rates, Canada, Sweden, any place that's got the medicine for everybody, health care for everybody, their people are getting taxed 50, 60%. Do you really want to give up half your paycheck for health insurance? Do you really? It was bad before Obamacare, but when they started coming up with that nonsense, it really got stupid. I'm 60 years old. I don't need you to pay for my insurance. And we already have ways. Hospitals can't just turn you away if you're sick. And if these give me cancer and I can't afford cancer medical treatment, I'm big boy. I know where I'm going. He done promised me that. So now they're trying to impeach the president. Couple things that chaps my butt on that. Because one people already thinks he's been impeached. He ain't. He ain't been impeached. Until Nancy Poo Poo hands that paperwork over to the Senate, he ain't been impeached. Just because they did their investigations and all this stuff, and they voted to have impeachment, articles of impeachment put on him, that don't mean he's been impeached. It just means they want him to be. It's the Senate that will hold the trial that will say whether he's impeached or not. Should he get impeached, that does not mean that he's automatically getting kicked out of office. It don't have to happen. That's up to the Senate to decide. Now, while they was investigating and doing their research and all this to decide whether to impeach him, they couldn't make nothing stick. They even brought their witnesses up, took them behind closed doors, didn't let nobody else in, and they told them what they wanted them to say. So what I see, you have to keep it all hush-hush, something ain't on the level. And once they did start bringing them out to the public, and they gave us all their family history. I really don't care about their family history. What do you know about this case, what the president supposedly did to get impeached? Do you have any facts of something the president did to get impeached? And every one of them said no. So then they decided to throw some fake charges at him. Basically, what it boils down to is he would not play by their rules. They made up a bunch of new rules, changed the old rules, and since we're in charge and it's our ball, we're going to make our rules. And he wouldn't play by their new rules. So they're trying to impeach him for it. Really. Everything that they have tried to accuse him of and find him guilty of and have investigated him of is the same thing that they have done and we have proof. Kind of like when you're growing up and your parents would tell you, don't do as I do, do as I say. We're a little bit too old for that. And he still ain't playing by their rules. He's still playing by the Constitution, whether they like it or not. Now that I've opened that up, Constitution that is, I am tired of hearing these liberals and Democrats tell me how they're trying to protect the Constitution, how they're trying to do what is right for the country. They're wanting to take care of the American people. And they sure do seem to know a lot about what the American people want, but I ain't heard nobody that has had them wanting to talk to them. They ain't never contacted me. I don't know anybody that they have contacted. But they seem to know what the American people want. And the president is tearing the country in half. No, he ain't. Most of the people in America are having to go to work. I think that's what's making some of them mad, is he has created enough jobs and he's telling them get off welfare and go to work. And if they got off welfare and went to work, then they couldn't afford to go to these rallies where they're protesting him. Plumb ridiculous. If the man passed a law saying that it was illegal to spank a puppy's butt, everybody would start hollering, the media and the Democrats would start hollering, he hates cats and grown-up dogs. It does not matter what the man does, you're going to hear negative. So it's real simple, folks. If you hear something on the news about President Trump, automatically figure the exact opposite. Because I guarantee you they're going to lie about him. If he says it's snowing outside and you're sitting there watching him on TV and it is snowing when he says it, they're going to come out and say it's a heat wave. Speaking of heat waves, your global warming nonsense is a joke. There is no such thing as, well, yeah, there is a such thing as global warming, but it's natural for the planet. We are not destroying the planet. If you will research the Green Deal, you will find out all the Green Deal really is putting more taxes on you and I, taking away our guns, and making it a one world order where everybody in the whole world is going to, first off, they're going to do a wealth distribution. They're going to tax the wealthy countries like America. We have to pay this big tax, and they're going to give it to the broke countries. I don't want to do that. And then they're going to have a whole bunch of laws that everybody in the world must follow. I don't want to do that. You know, the Bible tells us that there's going to come a feller that can unite the whole world. That he can basically make this one world order happen. And he's going to have a silver tongue, and he's going to woe the world. And everybody's going to love him. Until he then says, you need to bow down and worship me like a god. And then there's going to be a couple of countries that protest, and that's going to be start of a big deal. I ain't interested in your global warming. I'm not interested in your one world order. And I just as soon us get out of the UN. There's several countries that likes our president. And I guarantee you there's some that don't like him because he is making some of these other countries pay their dues. The UN has been operating off of American money that we haven't had. We've had to borrow it from China to give it away. I hate that. When my bank account's empty, I'm done. And I damn sure ain't going to go borrow money to just give it away to my neighbor. Our government seems to think we can do that as a nation. It's wrong. It needs to stop. And our president has been making other countries step up and pay their fair share. At least step up and pay. He can't get them to quite pay what they promised they would pay with the UN, but at least he's got them paying. We've been paying for all the wars and nonsense forever. I don't like it. He don't either. He's getting others to start paying for it. Now, I don't know how many blacks, Hispanics, Asians, or anything else I have watching my videos. I hope I've got some. But let me tell you something. According to the media and the Democrats, our president don't like you because he's a racist and a hater. What I tell you a while ago. Whatever they tell you, believe the exact opposite. Donald Trump does not give a damn what your skin color is. The only thing Donald Trump cares about is, are you an American and proud of it? If you are, let me help you. Period. He's been helping our country, and he has all of the numbers showing in his favor to prove what he has been doing to help all Americans. He's not in Washington, D.C. to work for just the white guy. He's in Washington, D.C. to work for all Americans. They're lying to you. He's not a racist and a hater. He ain't a coward either. Some countries are learning that. And I praise him for what he's been doing. And I didn't think I would like him. I wanted to vote for Cruz. I did. That's who I was going to vote for. My mind got changed. Cruz dropped out. He wasn't winning. And all you blacks and stuff that lives in the inner cities and all that nonsense, if you're living in a Democratic-controlled city, the Democrats have been using you as a fool for years. You need to wake up and smell the coffee. The government has been putting billions of dollars into your cities. And the Democrat leaders that you have on all levels have been putting it in their back pocket. The promises that they made you they was going to do for your cities, they got the money for it, but you didn't. They're playing you for a sucker. And they're getting rich off of it. President Trump went into I think it was a black church, don't quote me on that. And he was talking to a bunch of black community people. And he asked them one simple question. What harm can it do? If you vote for me, what harm can it do? Look what you have now. Do you think your life could get any worse? It could if you voted for Bernie Sanders. If you vote socialist, I promise you it'll get worse. He didn't say that. I said that part. Think about that question. You've been loyal to the Democratic Party for so long that they take you for granted. What harm can it do for you to help your president that's been helping you for the last 3 years? Try voting Republican one time. In November 2020, try voting Republican. Vote the Democrats out of your area on all levels and get you some real patriot Republicans in there and see what happens. See if it can't help your city. Do you really want to help yourself? Do you really want to help your city? Do you want to make something for your children that you can leave to them? Try voting Republican and see if it don't make a difference. You got to get more than one in there. I can tell you that now. Talk to your friends and family. They're going to think you crazy. Talk to your friends and family. And the main thing that you need to be asking them is, what has the Democrats done for us? Can you tell me any improvements they've done for us? And if they can't, you need to tell them we ought to do a change up. We ought to try voting Republican, see if something will happen. I've seen where some big national Christian outfit condemned Trump and said that they should impeach him and kick him out of office. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, those of the faith, Donald Trump is the best thing that has happened for our faith in a long time. We need to keep him in office. We need to encourage every Christian we can to vote by the Bible, vote by their faith, vote for the one that has been helping to say Merry Christmas again, the one that is trying to get prayer back in school, the one that's trying to get God back in our country and in our lives. "2020 could be a good year for you and I, people, if we're careful how we vote come November. First off, you need to make sure you're registered to vote. Then you need to go vote. And let's see if our voting in 2020 doesn't make 2021 a lot better. Not only vote for our president, let's vote to get him help. We need to vote Republican on every level. We need to get Democrats out on every level. The Democrats are so bad now. They are not even thinking about you and I, not even a little bit. And I'm going to end it there. And let's see if they censor my video. And fact check me. Y'all remember, good Lord love you. So do I. So does your president. Not only your president, but his party. Try to help him and he'll help you. Or let me say, vote to help him, and he'll help you. Y'all have a blessed evening now. Good night.